Hello everyone. Today I am going to show you how to build a homemade programming cable for your Hytera MD786G radio. This cable will serve as an emergency solution in case you don't have the original cable readily available. First and foremost, I'd like to quickly go over the electrical wiring diagram for this particular cable. Essentially, what we're going to do is connect a standard USB cable, exactly as you can clearly observe in the image that's currently being displayed right there on your screen. It's very important to remember and keep in mind that the red wire, specifically from the USB cable, will not be connected to anything at all. It will simply remain completely disconnected. As you can see on the screen, the USB connector number 1 will have its D- pins, specifically pin number 2 connected to pin number 4 of the radio's PTT connector, which is the front panel connector. Pin number 3 of the USB connector will then be connected to pin number 8 of the radio's front panel connector. And pin 4 goes to GND, which is pin 5 of the radio's front connector. Also, on the front connector, we are going to connect pin 2 of the radio, which is the PTT pin, the one responsible for the radio's transmission. We will connect this pin to a double switch. So pin 2 enters one switch section and pin 9 enters the other switch section. This switch is controlled by a single shaft. So when you turn the switch on, it connects both sections. When you turn it off, it disconnects both sections. So, when the switch is turned on, that is to say, when it's connecting pins 9 and 2 of the radio's PTT connector to ground, you will then be in download mode or DL mode, which is the time when you'll be able to update the radio's firmware. When you're only going to perform channel programming, the standard configuration of the radio using the CPS software, the switch must remain disconnected. That is to say, pins 9 and 2 are not connected to anything at all. This is extremely important because this specific cable is designed to fulfill two distinct purposes. Firstly, to handle the standard programming of the radio unit, and secondly, to facilitate the essential firmware updates for the device. It's important to remember that before you change the position of the switch, you must make sure that the radio is completely turned off. You should not change the switch's position once the radio has powered on or after it has already begun the process of reading or recording from the radio. Here, I'm displaying a photograph of a switch purely for illustrative purposes to demonstrate to all of you that this particular switch possesses two entirely independent sections and that these sections are both actuated by a single common shaft. However, you are free to utilize any double pole switch and it will function absolutely perfectly. This image shows the radio connector, specifically the radio's front panel connector, including pin descriptions and identification. It's very important to connect the pins correctly to avoid damage to the equipment. And here we have an image showing the identification of the USB cable's wires, and these wires will be connected to the pins of the front connector using the connector from the radio's original PTT cable. Or in my case, I'm going to do something a bit more radical. I'm going to use pins to connect these pins directly to the main connector of the radio unit, as I will demonstrate for you in just a moment. So, as I mentioned, I'll be using the USB cable. The cable is already connected here in the CPS programming mode, meaning pins 2 and 9 are disconnected and I won't be using a key. I'll use the pins connected directly to the connector. For this, I've utilized a specific type of pin model, which is quite small in size and it fits perfectly onto the pins of the PTT connector. Remember that you must properly insulate it to prevent it from accidentally shorting with any adjacent pin. So, I'm going to proceed in the following way. The way it's connected here, it's in CPS mode, which means you can program the radio, its channels, and all its normal settings. When I want to update the firmware, I'm going to turn the radio off. I am going to connect these two pins, which are also connected here to the GND, to pins 2 and 9 of the connector. I will make this connection now. So, I connected pins 2 and 9 to the ground. This way, when I power up the radio, it will automatically enter the firmware update mode. So I'll press the button here to power it on. The radio's red LED light blinked. This indicates it's currently in firmware update mode. To update the firmware, it's important that you first check the radio's current firmware version, and then you'll need to search for an updated version. Let's go to the computer. Once you've identified the firmware version, in my case here, I'm going to update to version 7.060600. This version updates firmwares from all of these previous versions, so if your radio has any one of these previous versions, you can go ahead and perform the update. If your radio's previous version is different from one of these listed here, then you should not update the firmware. Instead, you must search for the correct firmware specifically designed for your radio's update. Once you have completed the verification of your radio's firmware and confirmed that it falls within the acceptable update range indicated by the software, which by the way is included as part of the update kit. When you download the firmware update version, you will then install this software. It will allow you to identify the specific version that it's going to update and also determine which previous versions that are currently on the radio are compatible. Once you have confirmed that everything is completely in order, we will then proceed to click right here to carefully select the appropriate USB cable, which in this specific instance is identified as USB 001. Following that, we will then click on the upgrade button to continue. He will be the one responsible for initiating the process. Just a quick reminder everyone that during the entire update process, the device will completely erase all of the existing information stored on your radio. Therefore, before you begin to initiate the software update, it is essential that you perform a backup of your CPS, which refers to all of the radio's current configurations, so that once the update is finished, you will be able to easily reinstall all of this crucial information back onto your radio. Otherwise, não te caralho média, para isso aí, nice you'll lose the stored data. As fácil, reduce stored data. After the process finishes, turn off the radio and power supply. Once the process has been finalized, we are going to move the switch from the DL position to the CPS position. In my case, since I didn't use a switch, I'll just disconnect the wires corresponding to pins 2 and 9. I'll disconnect them, then I'll go back to the computer and click OK. Now I'm going to turn off the radio and the main power supply. And I'm going to turn the radio on once more. So the radio is now updated. In this case, apparently we didn't lose the configuration information, but it's important to always back up the radio's data to avoid losing your settings. In order to verify that the software has been updated correctly, we have already switched on the radio. Next, we will proceed to enter the menu and then we'll navigate to the settings option. The information, let's look for it. Here we have the radio model, the frequency band, and here is the firmware version that we updated. It's 7.06.06000. So the firmware was successfully updated. So that's it for today, everyone. This has been the video. Just a quick reminder, everyone, the red wire of the USB cable should not be connected at all. It needs to be left completely free without any connection, okay? So this has been today's video. I truly hope that you all enjoyed watching it. Choosing how, with just a little bit of manual work, it's possible to create a fully functional programming cable. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in our next video.